Wanyang Waci Kin, The Sundancer, presented by Dupree. The story was originally told by Sylvan Brown. The English script was written by Paul Little, the Lakota script by Sidney Keith, with illustrations by Wesley Wolfe. This story was part of a series published in 1982 and 1983 by the Butte Public Schools. Yellow Moon was a Lakota boy who thought he was better and tougher than everybody else. He did not think that anything could hurt him. He was raised by his Unchi because his parents were killed in a battle. One day, he walked into his Unchi's teepee and said, "Unchi, I am going to do the Sundance." She said to him, "Takoja, you shouldn't do that, because the Sundance is only for men." Angrily, Yellow Moon said, "What do you think I am?" Unchi said nothing. A year passed, and Yellow Moon was ready for the Sundance. He had spent the year gathering the things he needed. He knew what to get because he had seen the Sundance before. He did not ask anyone for advice because he thought he knew everything. He did not really understand the meaning of what he was going to do. The relatives and friends of the Sundancers fasted with them after purifying themselves in the sweat lodge. They seated themselves around the Sundance grounds so they could give support to their dancers. Friends came and told his Unchi that Yellow Moon was in the Sundance. Unchi went to the Sundance grounds and prayed and cried for Yellow Moon as he danced. The last day of the Sundance is the traditional time for the dancers to pierce. A Sundance helper came to Yellow Moon and said, "Lay down on this bed of sage so I can pierce you." Then he told him that it was all right to cry. Yellow Moon replied, "I won't cry. I am no baby." The other Sundancers cried to show that they meant what they were doing. The piercer pinched the skin on Yellow Moon's chest to deaden it. He squeezed extra hard to make Yellow Moon cry, but Yellow Moon wanted to prove he was a man by not crying. The true Sundancer pierces because he is sacrificing his flesh for the people, but Yellow Moon was doing it because he wanted to show off. The piercer understood this and decided to teach the boy a lesson. He pulled on the skin from Yellow Moon's chest and made 2 little cuts in it with his knife. Then he took a large wooden skewer and shoved it hard through the cuts. When he did this, Yellow Moon let out a yell and started to cry. When his Unchi heard this, she said, "Oh my, they are making him cry." She prayed even harder for him. The piercer pulled Yellow Moon off the bed of sage and tied his skewers to a rope attached to the sacred tree. Then he jerked on the rope and made Yellow Moon cry again. He was trying to let Yellow Moon know that the Sundance was not just a plaything. The Sundance was a time for one to pray, to be humble, and to suffer for the people. It was not a time for bragging and feeling superior. Yellow Moon was hurting very much now. While the other dancers were dancing and pulling on their ropes, Yellow Moon was just standing there, shaking. This was not going the way Yellow Moon had planned. He had thought he could make the Sundance look easy. The Sundance chief gave a signal for the Sundancers to come toward the medicine pool and touch it 4 times. The pierced Sundancers prayed and danced as hard as they could. When it came time to break loose, everyone bravely broke loose, except 2 of the dancers. One was Yellow Moon. The Sundance helper went to the other man, put his hand on the man's chest, and pushed him so hard that he broke loose and fell to the ground. Then the helper came to Yellow Moon and told him, "I'm going to go around 4 times, and if you have not broken loose by then, I will help you." Yellow Moon weakly tried to pull himself free from the rope. The helper came around the first time and gave Yellow Moon a staff. He said, "Take this staff and use it to help yourself." Yellow Moon pushed hard, but he could not break loose. As he got closer, Yellow Moon was pulling so hard that sweat was pouring out of his body, and his skin was stretching. He wanted to get loose before the helper got to him. The helper put his hand on Yellow Moon's chest and pushed back very hard. Yellow Moon finally broke loose. Afterwards, Yellow Moon said, "It felt like he just pulled the insides out of my chest." The Lakota Sundance is a sacred ceremony. It is a time of thanksgiving and renewal. The Lakota people are generous and will even sacrifice their flesh for others. But there are some, like Yellow Moon, who have to learn the hard way.